What's up? It's Ben from WODprep, and this video is my official strategy guide for 25.3. If you're doing the CrossFit Open and you want to maximize your score, this is the video for you. We are going to cover pacing. We are going to talk about the deadlifts, the cleans, the snatches, and then we're going to wrap it up with some of my best tips to help make wall walks easier. A little bit of housekeeping. I am not associated by CrossFit or endorsed by CrossFit in any way, although I am a huge fan of CrossFit Inc. And I hope whoever buys CrossFit HQ makes it even better. And if anyone wants to loan me like $300 million with really good financing terms, let me know. If you want all of my best tips consolidated into one easy to read email, then go to wodprep.com/open, enter your name and email address, and I will email you this video plus a bunch of other bonus content. And if you want to get coached directly by my team and I and truly get your best score possible to finish up this open, just click the link on the screen or click the link in the comments. It is a $3 coaching group. That's right, for $3, you can join the WODprep 2025 Open Coaching Group and get direct access to my coaches to help you get your best score. First, let's talk about the overall pacing of this workout. For most people, it's going to take the full 20 minutes. There's a lot of work that we have to get done. As you can see, this workout has a lot of different parts to it. And for most of us, it's going to take us darn near that full 20 minutes, regardless of which division you're in. The key here is you have to pace yourself early. You cannot win this workout in the beginning, but you definitely can lose it by going too fast on the initial wall walks, going too fast on the initial row, which almost everyone will do, and going too unbroken on those initial deadlifts. Please control yourself, stay reserved for the first 10 minutes or so in this workout. After 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, you are able to be the hero and push hard and finish this workout and finish the open with a bang. Now, let's talk about the row. The row is not a huge factor in this workout. Really, the wall walks and the barbell movements are a bigger deal. However, this puppy is going to be the reason that a lot of people don't reach their full potential in this workout, and that is because they are going to start way too fast on that initial 50-calorie row. So here's the pacing strategy when it comes to the rower. I don't care what level of rower you are. I would highly suggest that on your first set of rowing, you are conservative and controlled and almost annoyingly slow for what you want to do. Everybody, especially if you're doing this for Friday Night Lights, everybody's going to want to rip on that thing and go super fast because they're going to feel great. You've only done 5 wall walks before this. Don't fall into that trap. I want you to purposefully slow it down, take it down several notches so that you hop off the row feeling totally fresh. Okay, this is really the warm-up in the workout. And then if you get to the second row, the final piece of this workout, all of that advice goes completely out the window and it's time to burn it down. Full freaking send. I don't care what your form looks like. Get done as fast as possible. Tip number 2 for the row. This is a big one that everyone seems to mess up. Do not row at a 10. Do not row at a 1. You should be rowing between 4 and 6 pretty much no matter who you are. Here's the analogy I'll give you because I don't want to get into drag factors and all that stuff. If you row at a 10, it's like you're trying to row a boat with an enormous paddle. Think a paddle like this big. Yeah, you got a lot of leverage, and yeah, you can technically move the boat, but you're working way harder than you need to actually get it done. If you row at a 1, that's like rowing with a stick or with a paddle that's like this big. It's not going to have any drag in the water. It's going to feel great, but you're not going to go anywhere. The sweet spot for pretty much everyone, depending on altitude and air density and all kinds of other weird geeky stuff, is between 4 and 6. So put it at a 5, you'll be good to go. And I highly recommend you sending this video to the macho dude at the gym who's like, I row at a 10. Don't be that person. You're dumb. Don't do it. Row between a 4 and a 6, I promise. And then the next thing, when it comes to rowing, this is especially for beginners or people who don't have much experience. I see very often people will finish the row like this, and then as they pull this into their chest, they let their knees rebend. And they do some sort of crazy, weird, like kipping looking thing. Here's all you need to know when it comes to rowing. And I'm not a perfect rower, so thank you trolls in the comments. I know I'm not perfect at it, but I do know this much. When you row, it should be in this order. It's legs, so I'm extending my legs, then hips, then my arms pull. And then when I recover, it's arms, hips, legs. So that's all you need to know is legs, hips, arms, hips, legs. Now let's talk about the deadlifts. Again, similar to the row, you can't win this workout on the deadlifts, but you kind of can burn yourself out. So here is my general rule of thumb. For some athletes, this barbell is going to be light and they should do the deadlifts in maybe 2 or 3, 4 sets. For other athletes, this is going to be really freaking heavy, maybe even approaching or exceeding their tested 1 rep max. So here's what we suggest at WODprep. General rule of thumb. If this barbell weight is more than 75% of your deadlift 1 rep max, then do singles. It's probably a good idea to wear a belt, and your goal is to get up to that bar, pull, drop. Take a couple breaths, do it again. If it's over 75%, this is gonna be a heavy barbell for you. So don't try to be a hero and do big unbroken sets, even if you feel like you can. However, if this barbell is light for you, like for me, this is, I think, less than 50% of my 1 rep max. Yes, it is. Then for me, I'm gonna be doing something like 10, 8, 7, or maybe 5 sets of 5. I wouldn't suggest really anyone, unless you're an absolute powerhouse, probably not watching this video, go unbroken. But it's up to you whether or not you go the quick singles route, the slow singles route, if this is super heavy for you, or do a few small sets. I would just definitely recommend using a staggered grip like this. I just find it's way easier to pull the deadlift when you do it like that rather than a double overhand grip. And I don't want you fooling around with the belt too much, but if this is heavy for you or you have a tendency to blow up your lower back, then by all means, take a couple seconds, put a belt on, get the reps done, and then take that belt off for the rest of the workout. Now, let's talk about the cleans. You got 25 cleans, and you should do every single one of them as singles, unless you are an elite athlete. And let's be honest, you're probably not watching this video. You should do singles. I'm doing singles, and you're doing singles. And that's because it's just so much more efficient to bend down, grab the bar, pick it up, drop it, take a breath or two, and pick it back up. Now, depending on your strength level and how you're feeling at that time, you can do fast singles, meaning I get the barbell to my shoulder and then I actually kind of follow the bar down. Here's what I mean by that. So I pick it up, and I'm literally potentially using my hands to kind of settle the bar and then picking it right back up as soon as it stops bouncing. Can't catch it off the bounce. I know it seems efficient, but you're not allowed. So let it settle and then pick it right back up. Or if this is heavy for you or you're feeling pretty gassed, you're getting tired, then what I would highly suggest is come up with a game plan for how many breaths you should take between reps. So here's what I mean by that. You could say, I want to take a 3 breath break for every clean. Looks like this. Do the power clean. And then I'm back on it. And then I'm back on it. That is a great way to control the amount of rest you're doing, but keep moving. What we don't want is for you to do a set, and then you walk around the gym and wait like 30 seconds to pick up the barbell again. If this weight is light for you, like it's pretty light for me, I am not going to set up perfectly and measure my hands. And like, I'm not gonna take much time getting set up to lift the bar. I'm literally gonna let it drop, let it settle, and I just grab it and rip it, grip it and rip it. If this is heavy for you, obviously, that's not a good tip. But if it's light and you can truly just pick it up, even if your hands are a little bit off center, even if you're not perfectly on the barbell, like even if it's just not quite perfect, it's okay to just grab it, get it to your shoulders, and drop. Oftentimes I see athletes, even when the weight is super light, they're trying to align their feet perfectly. They're trying to make sure that they're grabbing the barbell in the perfect spot. You don't need to do that. This weight is so light, you don't have to treat it like a 1 rep max lift. However, if it is a 1 rep max lift for you, throw that all out the window and make sure you hit every rep clean, and definitely focus on having the proper form when you go to lift. You also probably notice in these demos, I'm kind of muscle cleaning it. That's what I plan to do in the workout, where I basically bounce it off my quads, stand it up all the way. As soon as I stand up, I drop. If this weight gets heavy or if it starts to get hard to pull it that aggressively from the floor, then obviously catch in that partial dip and make sure you stand it up all the way. I would not suggest doing a full clean or a squat clean unless you absolutely have to. One final tip when it comes to the cleans and the snatches, which we're covering next. If you can, try to find the least bouncy plates at your gym. Here's why. You might have seen when I did those singles, I dropped and the bar bounced around quite a bit. And these are actually really good 0 bounce plates. If you use high temp plates, like the recycled rubber material, those suckers are gonna be bouncing around like crazy. So try to find the harder plastic, whether it's competition plates or the black shiny plates at your gym. They tend to bounce less. The less bouncy those plates are for both the cleans and the snatches, the single technique, or when you're doing smaller sets, it's going to help you not have to chase the bar around the gym. And also, it might be worth, if your gym doesn't have very good clips, I want you to double clip. Because when we're doing that many repetitions, we're doing that many singles and the bar might be bouncing around, it's really easy for the plate to slide off entirely or get way off balance. So it might be worth having your helper literally load on 2 clips. You can flip the clip inside out, you can do 2 clips, you can use really fancy clips, 3 of them, I don't really care. Just try to make sure that those plates are really, really on there, because the last thing you want to do is be fiddling with the plates in the middle of your set because it's starting to slide off. Really quick, if you are a fan of the WODprep content that we bring you during the Open and all the other times of the year, do me a favor and go try a bag of Thirdzy. This is the only supplement I've ever promoted, and that's because I have taken it for the last couple years, and I reached out to them personally and said, guys, I love your stuff. The reason I take this is because it's a melatonin-free sleep aid. It has scientifically backed ingredients. Believe me, I'm a geek when it comes to that stuff. The ingredients actually work, and they're in the right dosage and in the right types of that ingredient, and it doesn't have melatonin that leaves you with a nasty melatonin hangover, and research has come out that you don't want to take melatonin every night. So if you want to help support WODprep, you can support our sponsors, which is Thirdzy for 25.3. Just go to thirdzy.com. There's a QR code on the screen. Scan it, and then use the code OPENREFUND. And what they're going to do is if you sign up for a 30 or 90-day subscription, they're going to give you your Open registration back in the form of a $20 discount. So help support the show, help support this amazing company that actually makes a product that works, or else I would not promote it. And not only are they going to give you your Open registration back, they are automatically going to upgrade you to express expedited shipping. So you're going to get your bag quicker and maybe even recover before your redo of 25.3. Now let's talk about the snatches. A lot of the same stuff from the cleans applies to the snatches. The bouncy plates, hugely important, especially for the men's Rx division. Usually 25-pound plates are super bouncy, so try to get the least bouncy plates you can. And then in terms of singles versus sets, I'm not as obsessed with singles on the snatches as I am with the cleans. Cleans, always singles. Snatches, you absolutely can cycle smaller sets. You could break this up into 5 sets of 5 or some sort of descending rep scheme, whatever works for you and your snatch ability level. If this is heavy for you, then absolutely go to singles. And when it comes to doing those sets, the same things apply. I don't care if you're perfectly set up with your hands in the exact position. This is another barbell for a lot of people. They can kind of grip it and rip it. Again, if it's heavy for you, no. But for me, this is really lightweight. So I'm just gonna grab the bar. I'll usually hook grip. Sometimes I won't when I'm really moving fast, but I'll come down, I'll grab the bar. And even if my hands are a little bit off center, it doesn't really matter. And another suggestion is in a big set like this, I will often do the first set with my hands wide in a traditional snatch grip. And I'm trying to hit my hip pocket, bounce it off my hips every time I do the snatch. But then I might drop the bar, shake it out. And the next set, I purposefully grab it narrow, because at this weight, I can actually start just bouncing it off of my quads, and it makes it a little bit easier to cycle. So don't stress out about where you grab the bar. I actually recommend adjusting your grip width, sometimes bouncing it off your quads, sometimes hitting it off your hips, whatever just gets you through the set as quickly as possible. And yes, if it's heavy or if you're feeling gas, it's totally fine to go with singles, and you can use that similar breath technique that we talked about with the cleans. If you're going to singles or if you're going to sets, do it for the snatches too. Allow yourself 1, 2, maybe 5 breaths in between your sets or in between your reps, and just keep moving because the workout is almost over. Now it is time to talk about wall walks. A lot of people are scared of this, and rightly so. There's a lot of wall walks in this workout, and if you're not good at them, it's going to be exposed. But good thing for you, I have a few tips that regardless of your ability level, you will get better at wall walks, and it will get just a little bit easier if you follow these things. So first, let's start on the ground. This is a bit of a controversial tip. When I start my wall walk, there are basically 2 different versions depending on your ability levels. And of course, you can switch back and forth between these during the workout. The first version to get up the wall is the standard downward dog. So what I do is with my fingers on the tape, I come up here, I straighten my knees. So you see my arms are locked out. It's easier for me to support myself and my weight here rather than with bent arms. So arms straight, knees straighten, and then it's step, step, and then you can start walking your way up the wall, okay? The other version, the version that I'm going to use for as long as I can, which reduces our time under tension because I get up faster, is the jump up. So what I do is from this position, I start pressing up and I literally drive my hips into the wall, pushing off of my toes and my knees, and I drive my head through. Now I'm already halfway up the wall and I can go finish the rep. Yes, it does take a hip drive. It might be more fatiguing with that oomph that you put into it, but it reduces my time under tension. So I'm in this position for a shorter period of time because I'm able to get up the wall in less steps and more quickly. Next, when we're working our way up the wall, it is very important to touch and go the wall tape. And here's what I mean. In order to reduce time under tension, we don't want to be hanging out upside down in this position for any longer than we need to because it's exhausting and it's hard to breathe. So regardless of which technique you use, when you get up to the top, regardless of how many steps it takes, what I want you to do is once you get one hand on the tape, this other hand should just touch and go immediately back in the direction it came from. What I don't want you to do is go here, and then hold it and then start walking down. Because when you do that, even me just demoing that one rep, it's difficult to hang out in that position so close to the wall. So once you get a hand on that wall tape, the other hand needs to release off the ground, tap, and immediately back to where it came from. That checks the box of touching the wall tape, and it's moving you in the right direction to get you off of the wall and out of that upside down position as quickly as possible. The next tip, after we touch and go that line, is I want you to splat onto the ground. Again, we're trying to reduce time under tension. Here's what it looks like. I'm at the bottom, I get up, touch, go. As soon as my final hand hits that tape, just drop down. It might not feel so good on your tippy toes. If you want, I know some people are going to be using gymnastic mats with the tape on it. If you splat down to the ground, it helps reduce time under tension and you'll fatigue yourself less. So as soon as I get those hands, I literally run my hands, nice big steps out to the tape. As soon as I touch that tape, I'm dropping onto the ground. I don't want to lower myself all slow and controlled because it's going to make me get fatigued. And then the final tip for wall walks is we are resting on the bottom, not at the top. So the touch and go plays into that. But in order to cycle your wall walks, I highly recommend when you get done the rep, take your arms, put them out here, and take a couple breaths. Relax. You can treat it the same way we did with the barbell movements for the cleans and the snatches, where you take 3 breaths. The reason I'm putting my arms up like this is I'm taking pressure off my shoulders. If I keep my hands here and I'm resting, I'm in a loaded position. Like right now, my shoulders are tight, and that's gonna fatigue them even more. So I'm reducing the tension, shake it out and do a little dance, and then hands back on into your next rep. If you apply those 4 tips, even if you're not an advanced wall walker and you can't jump up to the rep, even if you have to do everything slow, try to drop off the wall as quickly as possible. And then when you are in between reps, take your hands and shake them out so that you can take pressure off your shoulders, get a few breaths, and it's gonna help you keep chipping away at those wall walks. We covered a lot in this video, but again, if you want my full detailed 25.3 strategy guide, including bonus videos on the exact wall walk progression I suggest, lots of other bonus material, mindset tips, pointers specifically for the scale division, just go to WODprep.com/open and your name and email, and I will send you an email with all of our resources totally free. If you want to work directly with a WODprep coach, you can click the link on the screen or in the description or top comment, join the $3, yeah, just $3, and we will coach you to get your best score on 25.3 for the rest of this weekend. And if you like this free WODprep content that we bring you, because it's free for you, it admittedly is not free for us. This stuff is expensive and we put our heart and soul into it, and I pay people well, or at least I think I do. Please support Thirdzy. This truly is the only supplement that I've ever promoted. It is a melatonin-free sleep supplement that has clinically backed ingredients, again, without the melatonin, to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep. It is something that I take religiously, and when I don't, even if I just forget, my Oura ring that shows me my sleep metrics will show me that I didn't sleep as well. This stuff actually works, and it doesn't give you that nasty melatonin hangover. If you want to help support WODprep and sleep better, just go to the QR code on the screen. That's going to take you to a page where if you check out using the code OPENREFUND, they will give you your Open registration back, AKA they give you $20 of either the 30-day subscription or the 90-day subscription. So go get your Open registration fee back and sleep better. Go to that code, and thank you for supporting WODprep by supporting our awesome sponsors. And remember, if you or someone you know has $300 million that you would like to give me so that I can buy CrossFit HQ and then do awesome stuff with it and make it even better and impact even more people on this earth and teach them about the awesomeness of functional fitness, send them my way. Thank you so much for being here during the Open. It has been a pleasure to serve you, and I will see you on the leaderboard.